Lakeshore Meadows always looked serene in photos, a ring of modern homes, a glassy lake reflecting the sky, and a gentle walking trail weaving through tall willows. When Ethan Calloway first moved here, it felt like he had stepped into the calm he'd been searching for years. Ethan worked remotely, designing graphics and illustrations. The lake wasn't just a view, it was therapy. Every morning he sat at the wooden dock behind his home, sketchbook open, listening to the soft splash of water. The place felt like a sanctuary, but the community had something else too.
Anhua.
Not the friendly, invisible kind, but the Lakeshore Meadows HOA, which operated like a neighborhood parliament. And at the center of it all was Karen Whitmore, the self-appointed guard of the community spirit. Karen was known for three things: a clipboard that never left her hands, a habit of dramatically announcing rules in a theatrical voice, a fierce belief that she understood the community better than anyone else. Though her home was on the north side, which had no lake access, that never stopped her from visiting the lake daily, often with guests, folding chairs, speakers, and picnic blankets. At first, Ethan didn't mind. Visitors came and went. It was normal, but slowly things changed. Karen's visits turned into mini gatherings. Her guests treated the lake like a resort, coming with inflatable floaties, loud conversations, and coolers that dripped melting ice onto the dock. They trampled the wildflowers Ethan planted near the edge. They blocked his walkway. Sometimes they even left drink cans and snack wrappers. Ethan didn't want conflict. He had moved here to avoid conflict. He adjusted, adapted, cleaned the litter quietly, moved his schedule around louder hours. But the tension built, quietly, slowly, like water rising behind a dam. The lake, the place Ethan loved the most, was no longer peaceful. The turning point arrived on a warm Saturday morning. Ethan woke up early, hoping for a peaceful moment at the dock. Instead, he heard laughter, splashing, and upbeat music.
He frowned.
That was unusual for 7 a.m. When he stepped outside, he saw them, Karen and 6 guests, comfortably spread across his dock with 2 folding chairs,
A portable speaker.
bright orange float tubes, a small grill, not lit, thankfully, a cooler labeled property of Karen W. One of her guests even had their feet dipped in the water right where Ethan tied his canoe. Ethan approached calmly. "Hey, good morning. Sorry to interrupt. This dock is part of my property. The HOA map shows." Karen gasped dramatically, as if personally offended by the word property. "Your property?" she snapped. "It's the community lake. Community property, Ethan. Anyone can use it." He explained kindly that the dock and the strip of land leading into the lake were exclusive to homes that backed onto the water. Karen waved her hand as though brushing his explanation off the breeze. "My guests have every right to be here. You're misunderstanding the HOA rules." One guest stood up, clearly embarrassed, whispering, "Karen, maybe we sit," she ordered quietly to them like a stage director. Ethan pointed toward the designated park and public seating area across the lake. "You're free to use that anytime. Just not the private lakefronts." Karen straightened her spine. "You don't get it. I'm the vice president of the HOA." Her voice rose in dramatic intensity, not shouting, but loud enough for everyone to hear. "I will not be treated like some outsider who can't use the lake. We all pay dues. This is community property." Ethan stayed polite. "I'm not stopping you from using the lake. Just the part that's privately owned, including this dock." For a moment, Karen's guests awkwardly gathered their things, but Karen stubbornly refused to budge. After the dock incident, Karen began her mission. For 2 days straight, she walked door to door, clipboard in hand, gathering what she called support for lake equality. Her pitch included wild exaggerations. "Ethan is trying to privatize the lake. He's planning to put a fence up. He thinks he owns the water." Many neighbors politely nodded but knew Karen's tendencies. Some didn't answer the door at all. Others tried to explain that lake access homes had always had special privileges. But Karen refused to listen. She typed long group emails titled, "Emergency. Protect our community freedom. Most people quietly ignored them, but the noise was enough to force the HOA to schedule a formal meeting. When the day arrived, Ethan came prepared with printouts of the original community blueprint,
Maps. Habi law.
a letter from the developer explaining property boundaries. Karen arrived with a color-coded binder, 11 supporters, 9 of whom were her cousins visiting from out of town, emotionally charged speeches.
À dramatique attitude.
The meeting unfolded like a theatrical play. Karen delivered a speech so dramatic it felt rehearsed. How can we claim to be a united community if some residents hoard the lake? This is about inclusion, freedom, unity. Ethan calmly presented facts, citing exact clauses and dates. The room shifted. Some neighbors whispered, "Oh, so the lakefront homes do pay higher dues for access. And the docks really are on private property." Karen never mentioned that. Even the HOA president, tired of Karen's theatrics, admitted. The rules are clear. Lakefront owners have exclusive dock access. Karen's confidence cracked visibly, though she tried to maintain her posture. Her campaign had failed. The HOA ruling stood firmly. Karen and her guests could not use Ethan's dock or any private lakefront. But emotionally, Karen wasn't finished. Not even close. A quiet Sunday afternoon, and the climax of the conflict. Ethan installed a small, respectful wooden sign. Lakefront access. For dock owners only.
No threats. No anger.
Just clarification. But when Karen came walking toward the lake with 2 guests and saw the sign, she froze. Her expression went from confusion to disbelief to emotional overload. She marched up, face tense with frustration. "Ethan, what is this?" Her voice cracked on the last word, more emotional than angry. "It's just a reminder of the HOA ruling," he replied calmly. Karen's voice rose, shaky with both pride and embarrassment. "You can't block my guests from the lake. It's community property." Her guests stepped back, uncomfortable. 2 neighbors watering their flowers looked up, watching the scene unfold. Ethan spoke softly. "You're welcome to enjoy the lake. Just not from private docks or yards. That's all." Karen's eyes shimmered as though she might cry, not from anger, but from feeling excluded. She finally confessed to a nearby neighbor, quietly enough that only a few heard. "I bought here because I love the lake. I just wanted to feel like I was part of it." And suddenly, everything made sense. Her actions came from insecurity, longing, and a deep desire to feel included, not bad intentions. For the first time, Ethan felt empathy for her. Karen wasn't trying to be difficult. She was trying in a clumsy, dramatic way to belong. In the aftermath, the HOA held a follow-up meeting. Instead of confrontation, something unexpected happened. Several neighbors suggested monthly community lake days, where everyone, including Northside residents, could enjoy the water together under organized, respectful rules. Ethan supported the idea wholeheartedly. The first event surprised everyone. Families came with picnic baskets. Kids played quietly by the water. Karen brought homemade lemonade instead of a binder of rules. She thanked Ethan, shyly, quietly, for helping set it up. It wasn't a perfect apology, but it was real. Over time, Ethan and Karen developed a cordial, even friendly relationship. She stayed dramatic, but less controlling. He stayed calm, but more understanding. And one evening, as Ethan sat alone on his dock watching the gentle sunset, he finally felt the peace he had been craving, not because he had the lake to himself, but because the community had found balance. He realized something important. Boundaries aren't walls. They're invitations for healthier connections. And sometimes, the loudest neighbors just need someone to help them feel seen.